Hello everyone. Our topic for today is about climate change. So what will you learn in this lesson? First, by the end of the lesson, you should be able to explain some fundamentals of the physical basis of climate change. Second is describe some major impacts of climate change. And lastly is discuss individual and collective actions that are being and could be taken to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. For a short introduction in our topic, climate refers to a long-lived broad-scale trends in meteorological phenomena such as temperature, precipitation, and wind. Natural and human systems are heavily influenced by climatic conditions. However, mainly since the Industrial Revolution 200 or 300 years ago, human activity has been changing the global climate. This climate change is causing major disruptions to natural and human systems alike. The large scale of the disruptions and the large scale of the effort required to do something about it makes climate change among the most important environmental issues that humanity faces today. So what do you mean by climate? From the term climate, ito yung pangkaraniwan or pangmatagalang kalagayan at katangian ng panahon sa isang takdang lugar or region. So in our topic, we have lesson 1, climate and the weather. So every day, you get the weather report from newspapers. May mga nababasa tayo mga report sa newspaper, sa radio, television, and even in your mobile phones applications. Madami kayong nababasa doon na mga reports in regards to climate and weather. So, weather, ano ba yung weather? Refers to a day-to-day changes or patterns in the atmosphere at a particular place and time. Weather is what the forecasters on the TV news predict each day. Ito yung mga parang prediction nila kung ano ba yung magiging weather natin bukas, kung maging mainit ba or malamig, may bagyo ba or wala. They tell people about the temperature, cloudiness, humidity, and whether a storm is likely in the next few days. So that's weather. Yun yung weather natin na ibig sabihin niya. It is the mix of events that happens each day in our atmosphere. Ito yung mga halo-halong mga pangyayari sa atmosphere po natin. Weather is also not the same everywhere. Magkakaiba po yung weather po natin. Kung sa ibang lugar is mainit, sa iba naman is malamig, so magkakaiba. Hindi pare-parehas yung weather natin. It may be hot or sunny in one particular or in one part of the world, but freezing naman or snowy sa ibang lugar or bansa. Weather is determined by these factors. So, madidetermine po natin yung weather in these 5 factors. First is air temperature, measures how hot or cold the air is. So, dito sa air temperature, kapag po mataas yung temperatures po natin, yung molecules sa taas natin is mabilis at yung water po natin mabilis din siyang mag-evaporate. Second is air pressure. It measures how heavy, kung kaano ba bigat yung hangin is over a unit of area. So with higher air pressure po, the weight of air above you become heavier. So kapag po mataas yung air pressure natin, the weight sa taas po natin is mabigat din. This indicates na fair weather po. And kapag po lower naman, lower air pressure, the air molecules move together. So yun, yung air molecules po natin, they tend to move toward the atmosphere. It meaning to say, magkakaroon po tayo ng stormy weather. Next, amount and type of precipitation. Precipitation can be droplets of water, drizzle, example, shower, downpour, or even solidified water. It can be snow, ice, or hail. Yan po yung type of precipitation po natin. Sa atin, yung mga amor sa umaga, yan ganun. Next is wind strength and direction. Air moves from an area of high pressure to lower pressure. So, tandaan nyo po yan na yung air po natin, nagmo-move sila from a higher pressure to lower pressure. A wind that blows over bodies of water is cooler and also moist, while wind that travels over land masses, sa mga kalupaan natin, warmer, mainit, and dry. Next is types of clouds. With very warm air temperature, think of that, very warm, the water vapor will condense from clouds. The more evaporation takes place, the more the saturated the clouds will become and form rain clouds. So, kapag po tag-init, huwag po kayong mag-alala. Kapag po tag-init, magkakaroon po tayo ng ulan. Because this one, it explains that with warm or with very warm air temperature, water vapor condense. Magkukondense po lahat po ng water vapor po natin in earth. Then, magpo-form po sila ng clouds. Wherein that clouds, it is the accumulation of water vapor na na-condense. And then, magkakaroon po sila or magpo-form po sila ng rain clouds. So, if weather, sabi dito, describes the day-to-day state of the atmosphere, ano naman yung climate po natin? Since sabi po natin kanina, yung weather po natin is yung day-to-day. Kung ano yung weather natin ngayon, ano naman yung climate. So, climate defined as the cumulative. Ano yung cumulative? It is increasing in effect or size or the quantity or growing patterns of weather in a particular place over time. In the Philippines po, the climate is either dry or wet. So, yung dry season po natin sa Philippines, we have hanggang December hanggang May. Yung wet or rainy season po natin is June hanggang sa November. So, when an area is closer to the poles, yung climate po natin becomes more pronounced with the season that can swing from sweltering hot or extremely freezing. The climate is such countries can be, meron silang spring, summer, autumn, or winter. But in the Philippines, we only have dry or rainy season. So, recently, the climate has been more changing rapidly. So, mapapansin naman natin na pabago-bago yung climate na natin. And on a global scale, hindi lang sa atin but in our world, sa buong mundo. Climate is the average also, it's average weather in a place over many years, while the weather, so yun po yung pagkakaiba ng climate at weather. Climate is the average weather in a place over many years, while the weather can change in just a few hours. Pwede siyang magbago. Climate takes hundreds, thousands, or even millions of years to change. Next, lesson 1.1, we have climate and climate change. So, magkaiba po yan kung ano yung climate at climate change. Temperature and precipitation are two noticeable factors that describe climate. So, yun po yan yung temperature. Nakikita natin yan, na-observe, and also yung precipitation. When it comes to climate, temperature, it is measured accurately by a thermometer. Gamit po tayo ng thermometer, or perceived by the senses as pagkapag nararamdaman natin mainit, malamig, or okay lang. So it influences the clothes that we wear or the weather that we will experience. The type, amount, frequency, frequency or precipitation can be visualized and measured. Moreover, both temperature and precipitation are influenced by other factors. Temperature is influenced by latitude, the proximity of a large body of water, and elevation. Precipitation, meanwhile, is affected by proximity to mountain ranges and wind. So in this one, in this statement, I will leave that as your tasks to explain. Nandun po sa activity or sa task section po ninyo. So next po is, what are climate and climate change? Ano ba yung pagkakaiba nila? So the climate of a region or a city is its typical or average weather. For example po, the climate of Hawaii is sunny and warm. But the climate of Antarctica is freezing cold. So Earth's climate is the average. Tandaan niyo po yan. Earth's climate is the average of all the world's regional climates. And climate change, therefore, is a change in a typical or average weather of a region or city. This could be a change in a region's average annual. Annual lang po siya. Annual rainfall, for example, or it could be a change in a city lang siya, city's average temperature for a given. So, meron siyang given na tawag dito, araw, month, or season. So, climate change is also a change in Earth's overall climate. So, this could be a change in Earth's average temperature. For example, it could be a change in Earth's typical precipitation patterns. So, what is the difference between weather and climate? So, weather is a short-term changes we see in temperature, sa clouds, precipitation, humidity, and wind in a region or a city. So, weather can vary greatly from one day to the next, or even within the same day. In the morning, the weather may be cloudy and cool, but afternoon it may be sunny and warm. So, short-term changes itong weather po natin. So, the climate of a region or a city, it is weather average over many years. This is usually different for different seasons. For example, a region or a city may tend to be warm and humid during summer, but it may tend to be also cold and snowy during winter. So the climate of a city, region, or the entire planet changes very slowly, and these changes take place on the scale of tens, hundreds, and thousands of years. Question: is Earth's climate change or climate changing? Sabi po dito, Earth's climate is always changing. In the past, Earth's climate has gone through warmer and cooler periods, each lasting thousands of years. So observations shows that climate change or climate has been warming. Its average temperature has risen a little more than 1 degree Fahrenheit during the past 100 years or so. This amount may not seem like much, but small changes, yung mga kunti-kunting pagbabago in Earth's average temperature can lead to a big impact. Kahit maliit na pagbabago, kapag paulit-ulit siyang nangyayari, it can lead to a big or a great impact. What is causing Earth's climate to change? Ano ba nga ba? Some causes of climate change are natural. Natural na po yan na nangyayari. These include changes in Earth's orbit. So, meron din yung, or kasali po yung Earth's orbit po natin. And in the amount of energy coming from the sun. And also include ocean changes and volcanic eruptions are also natural causes of climate change. So, yan po yung mga example kung ano ba yung mga costs kung bakit nagkakaroon ng climate change or climate change. First thing is Earth's orbit and in the amount of energy coming from the sun. Second is ocean changes. Third is volcanic eruptions, and many more. Most scientists think that recent warming can be explained by nature alone. Sabi nila, pwede daw i-explain yung pagbabago o yung pag-init ng kung natin temperature or weather po natin by nature alone. Most scientists say it's very likely that the most of the warming since the mid 1900s is due to the burning of coal, which is correct, oil and gas. Burning these fuels is how we produce most of the energy that we use every day. So this burning adds heat-trapping gases. So meron silang mga impacts ng mga to, such as carbon dioxide na pumupunta sa hangin or sa air po natin. These gases are called greenhouse gases. So what is the impact of Earth's warming climate? Ano naman yung impact nito sa Earth po natin? Some impacts already are occurring. So nangyayari na, nararamdaman na natin yung impact nito. For example, our sea levels are rising, and snow and ice cover is decreasing. Rainfall patterns and growing seasons are changing. So madami ng impacts na nangyayari dito sa Earth po natin when it comes to climate. So furthermore, sea level rise and melting of snow and ice are likely as Earth warms. So the warming climate likely will cause more floods, droughts, and heat waves. The heat waves may get hotter and hurricanes may get stronger. What is the difference between climate change and global warming? Global warming, it refers to the long-term increase in Earth's average temperature. Long-term in Earth's average. And climate change also refers to any longer change in Earth's climate. So nagbabase po tayo sa Earth's climate or in the climate of a region or a city. It includes warming, cooling, and changes besides temperature. So ano ba yung magagawa natin to lessen the climate change, greenhouse effects, global warming? So what can you do to help? So as stated here, you can help by using less energy and water. For example, turn off lights and TVs when you leave a room, and turn off the water when brushing your teeth. You can help by planting trees, plants which absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Another way to help is by learning also about Earth and its climate. The more you know about how Earth's climate works, the more you will be able to help solve problems related to climate change. So I hope you understood the topic lectured. So we have here the tasks presented in our platform. So we have 5 tasks, and saan nyo po ilalagay ito? Sa malinis na papel. And also we have here an experiment. In your book page 256, do the experiment given, yung Launchpad section only, and write the questions, write the procedures in a clean piece of paper, and the guide questions. So that's it for today, and I hope you understood the topic lectured.